I'm actually refilming my outro because I filmed it and for some reason I was looking like in the center of the camera instead of like the camera. So hi, how are ya? Hey everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Hello, we're on YouTube. My name is Emily, also known as Withredliips on Instagram. If you don't know me, it's because this is my very first video. I am a makeup artist in New York City. I'm 25 years old and I hope to be making more videos for you in the foreseeable future. This is my everyday makeup routine. My everyday makeup routine is a little bit more intense than other people's ideas of everyday makeup routines. It's not a 5-minute face. I love doing my makeup and it's something that's very therapeutic for me, so I do pack it on a little bit. The eyes are nice and glam. I have a nude lip on. This is what makes me feel my absolute best. So feel free to take a tip or a trick on what I did and, you know, use it to your advantage. I will put my Instagram either here, or if I don't know how to do that, I'll put it in the description down below and you can connect with me on there. Let me know what you took from the video, what you're going to use in your day-to-day. I really don't know what else to say besides thank you. So thank you for clicking on this video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I feel like that's like the generic YouTube thing to say, but give it a thumbs up if you like the video. Without further ado, let's get into this video. So I've already prepped my skin with skincare and I put on my eyebrows because my eyebrows take me a little bit to do. They're not everyone's cup of tea, but they're my cup of tea. I'm gonna go in with the Nars Radiance primer. I have oily skin, and even though I have oily skin, I do like to use hydrating luminous primer. I feel like it helps control the oil because oil is going to fight oil, and this primer doesn't even have oil in it. It's just hydrating and radiant, so it's not going to irritate my skin whatsoever. I like to apply it under the eyes where I tend to crease and throughout the center of my face. So since I'm doing my everyday makeup routine, I don't wear a full coverage foundation every day just because I think that could be a little bit heavy and I also want my skin to breathe. So I've been loving the Stay Naked Hydromaniac Tinted Glow Hydrator. The Stay Naked Hydromaniac Tinted Glow Hydrator. Say that 5 times fast. For someone that does have oily skin and does get oily throughout the day, it wears really well and it doesn't look like I have a heavy face of makeup on, and it allows my skin to breathe. So with all that being said, we're gonna apply that right now. Any foundation brush that's going to be more dense would be awesome for something like this, because when you do have a foundation that is lighter coverage, you want to pack on as much coverage as possible, and a makeup sponge or a beauty blender will just absorb a lot of the product. I've gotten a lot of questions on Instagram or requests to do a video just talking about myself, so I think I'll just do that in this video so it's not boring and I'm just doing makeup, because I know watching tutorials like that, even for me, I'm like zoned out if nobody's talking for like an extended period of time. So yeah, my name is Emily. I'm with Withredliips on Instagram. I started my Instagram what seems like a bajillion years ago, but I started taking it more seriously maybe about a year and a half ago. And when I mean seriously, I just like to post my looks on Instagram as consistently as possible, just because I love makeup so much and I love connecting with you guys and brands. I've made a lot of really amazing friends on Instagram and through social media. So this is just another way to meet people and create and talk to you guys and share my love for beauty. As some of you might know, if you are from my Instagram, I used to work for Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I was an account coordinator for them for a little over a year, and it was my most favorite job in the world. But I don't work for them anymore, and what I do isn't really makeup and education based. My hair keeps getting caught, which always happens, but it's not really makeup and education based, so this will be a fun little experiment to see if it gives me the same joy that education does, because I love teaching about makeup, I love talking about makeup. Ideally, this is what you want, just something super even, not too much coverage, and it's just like really radiant and glowy. So now that I have on my foundation, I'm going to go into the Patrick Ta Major Sculpt in the shade She's Sculpted. I'm going to use the cream bronzer or the cream contour color in there to sculpt my cheekbones. I do cream bronzer and blush before I go in with highlight, and then I set everything with powder products when I'm done, just because I think it makes it last longer. And I have to use a little less powder when I do this. When you do apply it, try to focus most of the product at the top of the ear going towards the jaw, but keeping it right in this area and then blending it out as you go along. Because this is the area that you really want sculpted. If you bring it all the way down, it'll just be one line and it's not gonna lift the face. It's actually gonna bring it down a little bit. And we want to be lifted and sculpted. Cream blush, I'm going with the Cali Dream Blush Light from Melt Cosmetics. And I'm just going to pat that on the apple of my cheek going upward, right on top of the bronzer. I like to bring it up here because I feel like if I just keep it on the apple, it brings my face, like it brings it down a little bit. So I go on the apple a little above. I'm going in with the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. I'm going to put this in the high points of my face to brighten. This is just something that I do because I like the way it turns out. I take the Stay Naked Concealer from Urban Decay in the shade 50 Neutral Pink. This was a concealer that I used when I used to fake tan like all the time and I always needed a fake tan shade. Now this is not my shade at all, but it's a darker concealer. I could probably get the same effect if I just bought a little bit of a deeper concealer than the one that I use that's so bright. But I mixed these two together and it just helps it to blend into my skin tone so much nicer. I don't know if it's the undertone or what, but this is going to give me a really natural looking highlight. So I'm just gonna blend away and let you see what it does to me. I already talking about myself and now I'm not. But more about me. I've been in the makeup industry for 7 years. I started when I was 18 and now I'm 25. I used to live in New York City and I moved upstate. So I'm a little out of my element being up here, but I feel like, I don't know, doing YouTube and trying to get myself out there more in a sense will be good for me because I truly miss interacting with people that truly love makeup. I mean, there's some people up here that really do, but it's nothing compared to the interactions that I used to have when I lived in the city. It's one thing I really miss about it, but I just love the quiet too much to go back and not waiting for the bus or the train. Not my cup of tea. I also like to get around my nose because I get a lot of redness over there. And I'm a face maker when I do my makeup. So if I make any weird faces, I can't do my makeup without doing that. I take the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Baking Powder. I use a different beauty blender than I do to blend out my concealer because I used to use the same one. And when I did that, I found that my concealer was getting really cakey and gunky. So I go in with a different one for my powder. One more quick blend before I set, because like I said, I just crease so fast under my eye. So now that I'm blended, I'm gonna go and I'm going to press the powder under my eye. I don't bake. I do like to take the powder just a little bit and press it under my eye. And I'll keep pressing until the powder disappears. If anyone knows an attractive way to do this, let me know, because I always look like I'm going through like an exorcism or something. But the finished result is beautiful. So you see how much smoother that looks compared to this because it's already creasing. So just patting in the powder gives it a really nice airbrush finish. For the rest of my face, I just take a brush, a little tapered brush, and then I'll go in and set my forehead, my nose, and around my chin, just in my T-zone, because I'm gonna set the bronzer and blush with powder. So I went ahead off camera and did my bronzer and blush. I'm going to set my skin with the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Filter Setting Spray, and then we're gonna go in with highlight. I like to do this because I think the highlight really melts on the skin after you apply setting spray, and then also all the powders start to melt into the skin and look a lot more natural. It's okay to spray a lot, it'll absorb. Just fan myself with my mirror in the meantime. And then while that sets into the skin, I'll tell you what I put on for bronzer and blush. For bronzer, I use the Mineralized Skin Finish from MAC in the shade Dark. And then I also used Melt's Cali Dream, just the powder blush. I have both the cream blush and the powder. Why can't I say, I want to say brush. I have the cream blush and the powder blush in the same color, and it gives the perfect peachy color for spring and summer, and I'm obsessed with it. Now that the setting spray is pretty much absorbed, I'm gonna go in with the Melt Cosmetics highlighter in the shade Stargazer, because it's the perfect champagne opalescent highlight. And I'm going to take my A23 from Anastasia, one of my favorite highlighting brushes, and I'm just going to go right on the top of my cheekbone. Brows are done, complexion is on. There's a hair on my nose that I cannot get for the life of me, and I need to ignore it. We're going to go into eyes. So for eyes, I always prime my eyes with the MAC paint pots. I never was an eye primer person. I used to prime my lids with concealer until I realized that these existed, and I've never gone back. It's amazing. I'm using the shade Soft Ochre. I used to use Lay and Low because of Jamie Genevieve and my obsession with her. But either one of them work really well for my eyes. Laying Low is a little bit more peachy toned. I hope they still have it because I know they just launched a bunch of new paint pots, but it's more peachy, so it helps to cancel out the veins that are in my eyes. But Soft Ochre is also very pretty. As far as eyeshadow palettes go, I have two that I use almost every single day. One is the Supreme Nudes palette from Artist Couture, and then the next one is the Rust palette. Why am I holding like this? The Rust palette from Melt. It's so pretty. All of your neutrals right here. There are some shimmers in it, and the same thing with Artist Couture. It's all neutrals and it has some pops of shimmer in it, which is awesome. I typically do matte looks for every single day, but these guys are so pretty, and they are both very beat up and very well loved. For today, I think I'm going to go in with the Rust palette from Melt, just because I haven't used it in a couple of days and I feel like it needs some love. So I'm gonna go in with the shade Antique and Rubbish and mix them together. And I always tap off the excess on my brush. I know makeup artists say that all the time. And I hope I'm in focus right now. Even if I'm doing an everyday look, I really like my eyeshadow to be blown out. So I'll do tiny circular motions and really focus on winging it out. And this is just a random Kylie Cosmetics brush that I got in one of her palettes years ago. Any fluffy brush will do. The fluffier the better in my opinion, because it just diffuses the crease color really beautifully. And you want something that's going to be quick, because if you're anything like me, you take forever, and anything that's going to make your application quicker is better. Then I'm going to go in with a 227 from Zoeva. It's kind of like a MAC 217 if you've ever had any one of those. And I'm going to take the shade Rust, and I'm going to start to pack that lightly on my outer corner. And then go back in with my other brush when I like the opacity and blend again. I really think you guys are going to hear like all of the maintenance work in the background, and I'm so sorry. I really felt like I was being initiated into like the YouTube world, because right when I was ready to film, somebody was like mowing the lawn outside, and I was like, I'm literally ready to film. And then you always hear YouTubers talk about how like I'm just about to film and they're doing something outside. So I feel like I've been hazed, I've been initiated, and maybe this will go somewhere. I haven't decided whether I'm going to do an eyeliner or not, because I do really enjoy eyeliner, but I don't do it every single day, so that wouldn't be true to the video. But something I do every day is I take a smudger brush. This is the 233. I don't know, it's from Zoeva. Any shader brush will do. And I'll go in with the darkest shade. This is Rot 2 from Melt. And I'll take that along my lash line. And I'll just press that in. And I'll taper it on the inner corner and make it thicker on the outer corner. And then I go back in with the other brush with no product and I will smudge it out. And these shadows are super, super pigmented. If you just graze one of the shadows, you're gonna get a ton of pigment. So be very sparing with your brush. Don't like dig into the product because you will regret it. And the beautiful thing about it is that you need so little, so you barely get any fallout, which is awesome. Now I'm gonna go in with Classic, which is just a cream bone beige shade. And I'm gonna press that on the inner corner, well, the inner lid. And then I'm gonna diffuse it because I don't want it to be super harsh, because this is not a cut crease by any means. It's like a fake cut crease. It makes the inner lid look really, really bright and open, which I love, especially because I have hooded eyes. It really helps to open it up. Let me know if you want to see, or what videos you want to see next, because I know I didn't do my brows on camera. I didn't do my blush and my bronzer on camera. So if you guys wanted a contour and highlight video, like a more in-depth one all about skin, I could do that. My lower lash line, I do tend to smoke out like the outer third, but I'm taking Rust, which is like a darker brown, but it's not the darkest brown. And I'm just gonna smudge that really close to my lash line on the outer third, tapering it as I bring it in. Take Rubbish and Erode from the Melt Cosmetics palette, and I'm just going to smudge under my lash line. I'll take my fluffy brush again and go on the outer corner and just connect the outer lower lash line and the outer lid and just extend that out. Yeah, the goal is to see how these YouTube videos go, and if you guys like them, and if it's something that you want me to continue to do, I promise I will get a camera with a viewfinder and like a flip screen, so I don't have to like be over here or like over there and not know what I'm doing on the other side. I could use my front camera, but I didn't want to sacrifice quality. I say as I use my iPhone. I feel like you understand, because cameras are expensive. The cheapest one was like $500, and I was like, for my first video, let me just see if people like what I do. If you like what I do, all right, we'll invest. But until I know that, you know, people are expecting these videos, I'll just make do with what I have. It could definitely be somebody's like smoky eye routine, but she's most certainly my everyday. Anytime I'm going out and I know I'm seeing people, this is what I do. So this is a trick that I learned from Jamie Genevieve's YouTube tutorial. So any brush that you contour or bronze with, my bronzer brush is way too big, so I'll take something like this, like a dual fiber brush, and I go over the outer part of my eyeshadow and I extend it to my temple, like into my bronzer, and it gives you a seamless shadow. And I think it looks great. I think it lifts the eye. I think it gives the shadow something to blend into, and it doesn't look harsh. And that is just what I like to do. For inner corner highlight, I'm just gonna make it really easy, and I'm gonna go back in with my highlight from my complexion. So the Milk Cosmetics Stargazer highlight. And I always spray my brush when I use highlighter for my inner corner, because I just think it pops. So we're not doing eyeliner today. I definitely could film like a fox eye tutorial because I do really like that style of makeup. Keeping most of the drama on my outer corner because I think that flatters my eye shape because my eyes are so round. So let me know if that's something you want me to do. Now I'm gonna go with mascara. This is my super janky, super old Rimmel Lash Accelerator. Nicole Guerrero recommended this on a YouTube video years ago, and I've been obsessed with it ever since. This is probably my 4th tube. I don't know if you can even buy it anymore. I hope you can. But I don't spend money on mascara because I wear falsies all the time because my top lashes aren't as great as my bottom ones. So I always feel the need to put on a falsie. And this mascara also doesn't bleed or run under your eye whatsoever. It's amazing. I'm gonna go ahead and apply lashes off camera, and hopefully this guy's done trimming the hedges at that point. And then I'll come back and we'll do lips, and then we will be done with my first makeup tutorial. I hope I looked into the camera enough, and I hope I wasn't on the side too much. This is stressful. Lashes are on, and I really think it helps to pull the look together. Again, it is my everyday look. I just want to keep stressing that because this is so not so many people's everyday. Did that even make sense? I don't know, but it's not everyone's everyday look. So if you wanted to just do lashes, if your lashes are popping or you're addicted to mascara, put on the mascara and that's it, no more. But this is me. I love Lily lashes. There we go. I love Lily lashes. This is the style So Extra Miami, and I'm like the queen of reusing lashes. This is probably over my 30th time wearing them. Yes, I clean them every time I take them off. It's totally okay as long as they're not falling apart or you're cleaning them. Now I want to go into lips. That's the final step. And then we are done. Taking Foxy Lip Liner from Milk Cosmetics again. So I always like to line my bottom lip first. I don't know why. And I'll fill in my lip line a little bit. All right, so I overdrew my lip in the center, top and bottom, and then I like to go in with a lip liner that is darker than the one that I just put on. This is Downtown Beauty from NYX. It's like a true brown, and I'll go right in the center. And I'll leave it like that. And then I'm gonna go in with Stila All Day Liquid Lipstick in the shade Caramello. It's like a nude pink. And when I get to the top, I'll just pat it in with my finger. To really make this lipstick more nude, I go in with Nude from Milk Cosmetics again, right in the center. And I just finger blend it all together. And we are done. This is the final look. This is not everybody's everyday makeup cup of tea, and that's okay. I just like going more glam. This is what makes me feel my absolute best. And like I said, the complexion's light enough that it doesn't feel super heavy, but my eyes are glam, my nude lip is on. I'm feeling it, right? I'm loving life. Let me know what you think about it down below in the comments. Give it a thumbs up if you liked the video. And I'm really excited to make more of these. Something that I wanted to do for a really long time, and a lot of people have told me to get on the YouTube train. It's just something that has been holding me back. Maybe it's me talking on camera. I'm not like super vivacious in front of it yet, but hopefully with time it becomes more natural and second nature. I do feel more comfortable right now. Like after the whole video, I feel better. I'm actually refilming my outro because I filmed it and for some reason I was looking like in the center of the camera instead of like the camera. So hi, how are ya? Hopefully with time this is something that becomes more natural to me and my videos get better and the editing gets better. This is all just trial and error to see if this is something that you guys want long term. So thank you so much for coming and clicking on this video. If you're from my Instagram, thank you so much for supporting me for so long and coming over to YouTube and watching me and subbing. If you do, cannot say thank you enough to everyone who has supported me. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.